Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Hello everyone, it is good to be with you this evening. Leading tonight's bulletin, multiple human errors in 2 separate states are being blamed for yesterday's unprecedented telecommunications dropout. But in some developing news, the dramatic 24 hours has gone potentially from bad to worse. Garth Burley joins us now. Garth, you're hearing there's another outage, this time with Basslink.
Yes, I am, Kim. It's the fibre optic cable that is reportedly suffering faults. It's unclear the extent of these issues. Now, it's good to note that this is purely a telecommunications issue, and Hydro Tasmania has confirmed energy is still flowing on the actual power cable. But this could impact some businesses who rely on the telecommunications service. It follows yesterday's outage, described as one of the worst in Tasmania's history.
Outrage over a phone and internet outage may seem like a petty gripe, but the damage of yesterday's 6-hour disruption extended far beyond living rooms.
The outcome is the absolute worst case, no connectivity for the bulk of Tasmanian services.
As well as mobiles and landlines, airport check-ins, security alarms and the coronavirus call centre were all victims. It even put the brakes on e-scooters.
Any sort of convenience like that is pretty ordinary, isn't it?
I was shocked.
But the biggest blow for businesses was the loss of ATM and EFTPOS services.
So we thought maybe it was just a short outage that would take, a good 5 to 10 minutes to fix. Turns out it was not the case.
The Mets in Launceston powered on with a portable 3G dongle as a backup. Others closed their doors.
They're mainly EFTPOS based, so obviously they couldn't do a lot of transactions.
The cause, 2 back-to-back construction bungles 240 k's apart. The first, an underwater cable, was severed in Melbourne shortly after the second line was accidentally cut in roadworks on our northwest coast.
This is perhaps one of the first outages of this scale in Tasmania's history.
It is a really, really rare occurrence for both of those redundancy paths to be damaged and can't be used.
It forced traffic like 000 calls onto Basslink's telco path. Telstra has launched its own investigation into what happened. Technicians were forced to trench 1 kilometre of new fibre, helping restore connection at around 7 p.m.
It's a big job, but our crews managed to do it quicker than I've ever seen before.
Those responsible could still be fined, while safety advocates have raised serious concerns about dial before you dig practices, calling for it to be mandatory in Tasmania.
They're putting lives at risk. They're putting their own contractors' lives at risk. This could have been an electrical cable or a high-pressure gas cable.
Why our telecommunications services are so reliant on networks based interstate or overseas is a question being asked of government.
This really highlights the importance of getting those critical things connected within Tassie
to prevent this happening again. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Police say they've made the biggest cocaine bust in Tasmania's history, worth up to 10,000 street deals. 2 men faced court today, a culmination of a long-standing investigation.
Off the streets and into the hands of authorities, up to $1.2 million worth of drugs now seized.
Tasmania Police has seized one of the largest quantities of cocaine ever in Tasmania's history.
It was a monumental Tuesday for Tasmanian police on the beat after intercepting a logistics truck on the Brooker Highway at Glenorchy.
Inside the cabin, police located approximately 1.4 kilograms of cocaine, 4.6 kilograms of cannabis and 392 grams of methamphetamine.
This significant quantity of illicit substances no longer circulating in the community.
This seizure equates to approximately 10,000 street deals of harmful illicit drugs out of the hands of vulnerable Tasmanians.
Leading to a Hobart Magistrates Court appearance for 2 men today.
A 60-year-old man from Brighton and a 58-year-old man from Elderslie have been charged with trafficking in a controlled substance.
It's alleged the truck completed a round-trip journey from the state to Victoria on board the Spirit of Tasmania between February 27 and March 1.
Police work closely with the Spirit of Tasmania and other partners to ensure that our sea, air and mail corridors are not exploited by those wanting to profit from drug distribution.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
Education Minister Roger Yench has revealed 1,600 Tasmanian students are recovering at home with COVID-19 since public education began on February 9.
These children are at home, they've been tested at home, they've been kept at home. and 2/3 of them, more than 2/3 of them, are continuing to learn from home as well.
868 new infections were recorded today. 2 people remain in ICU. The Premier has accused Labor of muckraking, with the interrogation of Jane Howlett's resignation continuing in question time. Peter Gutwein wouldn't confirm if his former Sport Minister was accompanied by a Liberal fixer in a meeting the day before she resigned.
A stroke of a pen and a new deal is signed, paving the way for 450 affordable homes at the Hobart Showgrounds.
We'll be ploughing those properties into our social and affordable housing mix going forward. It's a key element of our plan to deliver more homes for Tasmanians.
Enable us to reinvent the site, because there is no doubt this site is tired and in need of some infrastructure spending.
It wasn't all positive PR for the state government during a heated question time as Labor's takedown of the Premier continued over what took place the day before Jane Howlett resigned.
Why did you try to cover up the fact that Brad Stansfield, Liberal Party fixer and PR consultant for the Jack Jumpers, was also in the room?
Peter Gutwein wouldn't reveal who joined his former Sport Minister in the meeting.
I know that they have had a long friendship and have been members of the Liberal Party for a long period of time.
In a statement, Brad Stansfield said, "As a private citizen, what I do or don't do in a personal capacity is nobody's business," and the claims made by the Labor Party are false. NBL CEO Larry Kesselman was in Tasmania on Monday, and 7 Tasmania News understands he met with government representatives while here, but the Premier wasn't involved in those meetings. Both the NBL and Jack Jumpers have chosen not to comment on the rumours. State Parliament continues tomorrow. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart could see its own version of the traditional march to the MCG if the Regatta Point Stadium goes ahead. The architects behind the design say its central location is ideal for fans wanting to walk from the CBD to the ground on game day.
Most of the games are anticipated to be at night, so we'd be looking at people energising through Macquarie Street, down Davey Street, from Salamanca, through to the arena, using the bars, the restaurants, the cafes.
The state government is dangling the 20,000-seat, $750 million carrot in front of the AFL as part of Tasmania's push for a team. A Bass Strait battleground is being mocked up for an extensive training exercise. Police from Tasmania and Victoria are taking part in counter-terrorism drills on a remote island over the coming days. Air and sea units are being deployed along with around 100 people.
Not overly frequently do we engage in an exercise of this magnitude and capacity. This exercise itself has been 18 months in the planning.
The exercise will help iron out any communication issues between Tasmanian officers and their Victorian counterparts. A Launceston researcher has captured the rare display of romance between Tasmanian peacock jumping spiders during mating season. Video footage shows the male arachnid performing a colourful courtship dance in an attempt to attract the female.
I'd been there for about an hour waiting for something to happen, and then just out of the blue, he decided to do the display.
Having first-hand access to the spiders that were collected at Cradle Mountain is a first for the Queen Victoria Museum and Art Gallery. 5 years on from selling his gym empire for $50 million, a former Tasmanian Liberal leader is sharing his secret to success. Bob Cheek's new book, Dumbbells to Diamonds, also takes aim at the fitness industry he helped revolutionise with the state's first 24-hour gym.
It's an exciting place to be, but it's also got its dark side. There's a lot of underbelly there that people don't know about.
The 77-year-old set tongues wagging nearly 2 decades ago with his insider's account of state politics.
Brendan Bolton is the latest Tasmanian throwing his support behind a local AFL team following yesterday's stadium announcement. The former Blues coach, now assistant at Collingwood, says it would be fantastic to see the competition go truly national.
And I think it'll be truly national if Tasmania and possibly the Northern Territory has a team one day. But it looked exciting, that stadium, right on the city, and if it's got a roof on it, that helps down in Tassie.
Bolton was a prodigious player in Tasmania, being named best on ground in the 1998 TFL Grand Final. Sarah Coit has put in an impressive performance with the bat to help the Tasmanian Tigers make it home against Victoria. The right-hander cleared the boundary twice in the Women's National Cricket League clash today, hitting 69 not out and helping the state to a 47-run win. Sitting comfortably in third place on the table, the Tigers now turn their focus to Sunday's match against Western Australia. The NBL was back in Tasmania last night as the Illawarra Hawks downed the New Zealand Breakers 102-87. The game was played in an empty MyState Bank Arena with the Breakers missing 5 of their best players. They'll now head to Launceston to play the Jack Jumpers on Saturday. Launceston is also hosting Tasmania's game against Illawarra on March 13.
Good evening. Strawn reached our top today with 27 degrees, Hobart 24, Launceston 26 and mid-20s for Burnie and Devonport. Temperatures generally up on the March average. Bushy Park 26, Flinders Island 25, King Island and Smithton 24, Low Head and Grove 23 degrees, Friendly Beaches 22 and St Helens 21. Extensive low-level cloud over us today, bringing a few thunderstorms over the northeast late this afternoon, fairly clear over the southwest. Cloud is streaming down WA from the ex-tropical cyclone. Low cloud over the Tasman Sea is pushing over the coast in an easterly airstream. Tomorrow, the high near New Zealand has a ridge back over Tasmania, continuing the humid easterlies. A low and cold front start to track over the Bight. A trough through central parts bends down through Queensland and New South Wales. And as we would expect, those east-northeasterlies again tomorrow, 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the northwest early. Swells at 2.5 metres in eastern waters. Strong wind warning has been issued for the far northwest coast. And a moderate flood warning for the South Esk River, a flood watch for the northeast and upper east coast. Hobart, a high of 26 and partly cloudy tomorrow. 28 for Cygnet, a sunny day, partly cloudy for New Norfolk and 29 degrees, warming right up. 29 for Launceston as well. Humid for Devonport, 24 the top and 26 the high for Campbelltown. Burnie, a humid day, shower or two and 24 degrees, 27 for Strawn and sunny, windy for Smithton, 25 the top. 22 for St Helens, a few showers, a shower or two for Swansea, 23, 22 for Fingal with a shower or two. There's the UV, still regarded as very high at 8 tomorrow. On to Friday and partly cloudy in Hobart, but humid along elsewhere with a possible shower across the west of the state. Another showery day on Saturday with most areas on a 70 to 80% chance of rain. And on Sunday, the wind's picking up, but mostly cloudy, apart from a possible shower for Swansea. Fine weather tomorrow for Darwin, Perth, Adelaide and Melbourne, but rain at times in Canberra and some heavy falls possible over Sydney and Brisbane. Mostly cloudy in Hobart, it's 21 currently, 23 in Launceston, partly cloudy in Devonport, 21. Kim, oh, by the way, something funny did happen to me today. I prepaid a whole year's gym membership. 10 minutes later, the bank rang and asked me if my credit card had been stolen.
With all this bad news around Murph, it's good to have your almost funny jokes back. Thank you. See you tomorrow.